It was a sunny day in Lekon City. The city, a small one where everyone knew themselves. The buildings were quite old and the city was a mix of rich, average and poor people. On a beautiful sunny Thursday afternoon, Simi gave her life to Christ in a crusade. Simi has always been a good girl, but this decision made her even more firm. Simi had a fear of rejection, so she always tried to put her best foot forward. She was adored by her parents because she was obedient. This caused a bit of jealousy among her siblings. Simi loved the praises of her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ade. She put in more effort to remain the best child. Her sister, Dami, hated her for this. In school, Simi was also the best in her class. She had just finished her secondary school exams with flying colors. Her elder sister, Dami, had been trying to get into the university, but for 2 years now, she has not been accepted, even though she is passing her exams. Simi wrote hers once and passed with flying colors. Fortunately for her elder sister, Dami, she was accepted into the university at the same time as Simi. Dami was happy because she was not going to be staying in the same hostel as her sister. She did not want Simi making her feel inferior. Dami always felt like she was in the shadow whenever Simi was around. Simi had to suffer a lot of rejection from her peers as a result of her faith. She was lonely, while her sister on the other hand had a lot of friends in school. She was always found sharing her faith, and this got her nicknames like Mommy G.O., Holier Than Thou, and Virgin Mary. One windy afternoon, Simi was rushing out of her class so she could meet up with fellowship. She bumped into Emeka. Emeka was tall, ebony black, and handsome young man. Girls would always flock around him trying to get his attention, but he never looked twice at any of them. But something about Simi caught his attention. She was intelligent and always by herself. He tried to use this opportunity to talk to Simi, but she was in too much of a hurry to respond to him. He was not happy about this, but he kept his thoughts to himself, waiting for the right time. 2 months into the university, Simi was doing well in the university. She was starting to get close to one of her classmates. Her name was Ada. Ada intentionally started getting close to Simi. Ada was a wild girl, but she knew how to come out looking and acting like a saint. When Dami saw her sister with Ada in school, she called Simi and warned her sternly to stop being friends with Ada, but Simi would not listen. Ada was subtle. She was always following Simi to church. Simi was happy that she finally had someone she could call her friend. My sister is just being her usual jealous self. Soon, Ada started watering down God's instructions subtly. She would say things like, even though you are a Christian, you still need to enjoy your life. You have only one life. Emeka had made 2 more attempts to talk to Simi, so he decided to come through Ada, who seemed to be willing to sell Simi off. Ada invited Simi to a party. According to Ada, it was just a chill party, nothing much, and they would just have a little fun. On the day of the event, Simi woke up from a nap that afternoon with a loud shout. She screamed so hard that she jumped up from her bed sweating like she had a bucket of water poured on her body. She saw herself being chased by a masquerade in her dream. She said a little prayer when she had woken up. Simi felt uncomfortable all through that day. She had a pain in her heart that made her feel like she was choking. The signs were there, but Simi didn't listen to that still small voice that warned her. She knew she should not be in that party Ada had invited her to, but she did not want to disappoint her friend. Unknown to Simi, her friend Ada had made a deal with Emeka to bring her to the party that night. Ada also had other things planned. Ada had set up some guys in the party to put something inside a drink she wanted to give to Simi. She also didn't explain well to Simi what kind of party this was. When Simi stepped into that place, her entire body system changed. Even on her way to the place, she encountered a lot of delays, from her shoes spoiling to the Uber driver delaying and so on. But she didn't discern that this was God's mercy stepping in. She still went ahead. The party was going according to plan. All that was remaining was for that drink to be given to Simi. Simi was already feeling nauseous when the drink was given to her. Ada was gently pushing her to drink, but because she was nauseous, she didn't know when she dropped the cup and broke the glass. Even though Ada didn't accomplish her mission, a portal had been opened to Simi's soul. She was no longer in church as usual. It was now from one party to another. She was getting sodomized and didn't know that her friend was an enemy in disguise. During this time, Emeka and Simi had started talking. One day, Emeka invited Simi to his house. Simi didn't want to go, but Emeka and Ada persuaded her till she gave in. When she got to Emeka's room, she sat on the chair with much discomfort. Emeka tried his best to make her comfortable. He prepared food for her and played some movies on Netflix. After Simi was done eating, Emeka sat beside her and started touching her in an unusual manner. Simi moved away and asked him to stop, but he didn't. Simi got up to leave, but before she could take any step, Emeka pulled her back and raped her. Simi was devastated. How was she going to tell people what had happened? Who would believe her story? Simi was in pain for days. She cried till there were no more tears in her eyes. She was depressed and it seemed as though her world had come to an end. After 1 month, Simi started feeling sick. She was feverish. She decided to go to the hospital. Simi got news that she was pregnant. What she had greatly feared had come upon her. Simi was even more depressed. How will she continue? Everyone knows her as a church girl. What was she going to tell her mom, who is always bragging about how she is the best child in the whole world? Out of frustration, Simi opted for an abortion. She was afraid, but it seemed to her like the only right thing to do. She could not deal with the shame and stigma that would come from having a child out of wedlock. On one cold morning, Simi decided to do away with the baby in her womb. She was filled with so much regret. She hated herself. Tears has been her food since the day she was raped. She was heartbroken. She could not even speak up about it. At the hospital, while she was being operated on, she felt a wave of darkness, as though the angel of death had come for her soul. Suddenly, she could not breathe any longer. She started gasping for air. She watched as her soul departed from her body. Before the doctor could realize, Simi was dead. And that was the end of a promising young woman. Please kindly tell me in the comment section what moral lesson you got from this story. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. You can also share it with your loved ones. Till we meet next time. Bye.